All right, so I want to answer a comment. Al writes in, what makes you think going forward the Vanguard Real Estate Investment Trust is going to do better than the S&P 500? Not look back, but look forward. And I comment and I replied, I have no idea. None. The issue that I'm contending with is that, well, a couple things. I mean, look, I don't know. No one knows what's going to happen. But I do know the one thing that concerns me deeply is this massive run we've had in the S&P 500 for 13 years. Massive. Just like nothing we've ever seen before. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, just from a probability perspective, at some point, and I'm sorry, the last year, from the Valentine Day massacre essentially to March 20th was not, I mean, yes, it was a bear market. That was so fast and furious. Obama, thanks Obama, is that, and Eric Holder, it was a drop in the bucket in terms of a real bear market. And it's manufactured. I mean, it didn't have to be. So what hurts more is missing out after 13 years of an up or protecting the downside from the bear. I mean, it's coming. I don't know when, where, or how. And I'm not saying get out of the market. I'm just saying I'm trying to take a little bit more defensive protection and say, I don't believe this economy because remember, man, at the end of the day, the economy, the GDP and stocks do not go in lockstep. I know a lot of people say the GDP equals stock performance. No. What happens with stocks is this earnings growth plus dividend yield. That's it. Some years it won't be the same, but if you look over any 5 to 10 year time frame, it's basically earnings growth over dividend yield. That's it. So we've had this mass run in stocks. All right, dwarfing the earnings growth and the dividend yield is nothing. At some point, this is going to come back to just even Steven, man. Now, could this be because we had such a bad odds that I don't know, man. I don't know. But 13 years, man, from 2009 to 2021, we've had we haven't had anything like a true bear market. We had a 33-day blip. We had Q4 2018, Q2 2015, Q2 of 2011, and none of those are bear markets. Not even the Q4 2018, and that was just a quarter. That was it. And I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, what is the best offense? Sometimes going on defense is the best offense. So why do I think REITs? Dude, I don't know why. I just say has this 0.6 correlation with the S&P 500, which I like. Now, again, I don't. Do people actually comment before they watch the videos? I think a lot of people do, actually. I've come to my conclusion, reading some of the comments, I think people comment before watching the videos. And I'm not sure if Al did, because I said I said in the video, the reason the reason I think I'm putting some money into the real estate investment trust has nothing to do because if it'll do better, has to do because it's lower correlated to the S&P 500. It's only 60% correlated, which is good. And again, as I said in that video, correlation, everything gets correlated negatively when the markets go down, but that's not necessarily true. I mean, that was good it happened in 2008 for sure, but it didn't happen in 2001 and 2. Well, let's just look. Hold on just a second. Pause it. So here's a real estate investment trust in 2001 and 2. It's up 26, up 12, up 3. S&P 500 was down 9, 12, and 22. 98, 99, S&P 500 is up over 33%, 30% both those years, and the real estate investment trust was down. So that's a very non-correlated asset, which is fantastic. Now, they both got crushed in 2008, almost identical, but actually the drawdown in the real estate investment trust in 2007 to 2008 was significant. 68%, I think is what it was. That's nuts. Well, the drawdown in the S&P 500 total was like 57%. Anyway, so it's easy to say that everything is correlated with the markets go down, but that's not necessarily true. I can't stress this enough, friends. The evidence is not, this is why I hate the evidence-based investing. There is no evidence because something happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen again in the future. We have no idea. However, what I do know, if something has a zero point 0.6 correlation in the S&P 500, I have two examples of down markets, significant down markets, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2007 through 2009. Of those 5 years, 3 of those years, the real estate investment trust actually went up. All right. Of those 5 years, 2 of those years, the real estate investment trust actually went down more than the S&P 500. That is not a highly correlated asset historically. It's not, which is good. Because what that means is if we have a high correlation and the market is going up and we think the market has some downside risk there, well, the real estate investment trust hasn't had 5 years run and hasn't had a huge run up as the S&P 500 did. So that's why I'm looking at that. Look, I got no idea. No one has. But I do know the down markets hurt more than the up markets help. Just like Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, when Kahneman got the Nobel Prize, which in of itself doesn't mean that much, but it's it's kind of like the Pope the Pope, oh my goodness, he's God's chosen. No, he's not. He was elected by bureaucrats in the Catholic Church. But at the end of the day, still, you got a Nobel Prize. It means something in terms of it gives you some legitimacy. I get it. If they ever gave me one, I'd never turn it down. But anyway, at the end of the day, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky both served in the Israeli military, by the way. Oh my goodness! So if you're a BDS, you better stay away because you can't stand anyone who served in the Israeli military. Did you? I don't want to get into it. The anti-Israeli stuff out there is freaking mine. We're not anti-Semitic. We're anti-Zionist. Yeah, you guys. I freaking hate that stuff, man. There's a food truck event, I think it's Philadelphia, that because there's a guy from Israel, an Israeli native, but he lives in America. He wanted to join the food truck. They said, we can't have an Israeli guy here because it'll offend the Palestinians. I said, you freak. So they stopped the whole thing. They're freaking nuts. Oh, but that's not anti-Semitic. That's just anti-Zionist. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I'm sitting there thinking, the down market. So anyway, Kahneman won the Nobel Prize for studying. They said people have basically a 2-to-1 that they're fearful of losing by 100% more than they're hopeful for gains, if that makes sense. And so basically, it's and if you just look at the markets, remember the mathematics of investing are simple. If you're down 50%, you've got to get up 100% just to break even. So I'm looking for non-correlated stuff that's historically non-correlated. And the REIT has a historical low correlation to the S&P 500. I don't know if it'll continue to do so, but I just know for the last 5 years it's underperformed, which I like. I'm trying to protect myself against the down markets. That's what I'm trying to protect myself, because the pain of down markets, especially if you're self-employed, man, it's tough. When the markets go down, people stop wanting to throw money at you. I'm telling you right now. And you better have some cushion there to protect yourself. And I will see you.